Yeah.
Now it is
it.
on?
Yeah.
No, it's not on.
Oh.
It's still crossed. Now. Now it is on.
Yes. Om Sahana Vavatu Sahana Bhunaktu Saha Viryam Karavavahai Tejasvinavadhitamastu ma vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Kincha, furthermore. As though this was not enough. Yes. If you mean it gets worse? Yes. I thought we had enough. No. So, kincha means furthermore. There is something here which I thought I should share. Let me see what it was. So why are people why do people remain stuck in the ditches and thorns of samsara? Why does this stuckedness persist? Kincha, furthermore, avidyayam bahudha vartamanaha.
Avidyayam bahudha vartamanaha.
Vayam kritartha ityabhimanyanti balaha.
Vayam kritartha ityabhimanyanti balaha.
Yat karmino na pravedayanti ragat.
Yat karmino na pravedayanti ragat.
Tena turaha kshinalokascha bhante.
Tena turaha kshinalokascha bhante.
Bahudha means in many and varied ways. The suffix dha has the force of prakara vachana, means the communication of the, let me count the ways in which, communicating how, dha, tha also, yatha, tatha, that tha and dha have the force of communicating the manner in which the delusion is gotten into and stayed in. And so, bahudha, in many ways, varieties of mudhatvam are there. Many ways, not just one. I mean, how the Upanishad says, please don't make me count the ways. You please use your imagination and see. So, what is this bahudha veshataya? In the form, in the form of the vesha, bhusha, different manner of dressing, mudhatvam, what is that? Clown. No. People swayam panditaha. They are various pandit outfits, think of. Yeah. Many forms of looking learned. Many ways of posturing. This is what bahudha is it. Various ways of posturing, various ways of looking learned, various ways of coming across as knowing something that you really don't know anything about. and various ways of not just projecting these things, these ways, but also upholding them for a long time. It's not just a one-time act. Yeah, it's a lifelong masquerade. And so how to live like this? And this is what he says, bahudha. That is why the other one started with avidyayam. Avidyayam antare vartamanaha. So these who are, first they were, the tofu was steeped in the marinade, of the marinade of spicy avidya. Avidya because it spices things up. And then you cannot tolerate the heat. This is what happens. So then what happens? So after spicing things up, avidyayam here, bahudha vartamanaha. Then the sauces are different, in which the sauces are the sauce is the avidya, this marinade is the avidya, and then how it is taken out of the marinade and what masala is put and how, whether it is fried or boiled or grilled or barbecued, is different. That is what bahudha is. So what is common for these mudhas? Avidya. So they all are doused in the sauce of avidya, and then after getting this marinated, marinated tofu or this paneer, and then what? Then it is put to various ministrations. Bahudha, that is what bahudha means. You can, it is treated variously. Yeah. Because then what you can do with the tofu, you can put it on the stick and grill it. You can call it kebab, tofu kebab. And then you can, put it along with a salad and serve it. Marinated something, tofu. And then, or you can, put it in a stir fry. This is the bahudha. So how you come across, everyone has avidya, but how you cover it up? You cover it up with the, what is that? With some leaves and call yourself a salad, a macrobiotic guru. This is a tofu covered with some leaves, fresh salad of avidya. And then, or you can, cook everything and say, oh, all our torments we have to suffer in order to get ahead. Without suffering there is nothing, let us all suffer together, and if you want to go to heaven you have to suffer. And this is another treatment, pressure treatment, pressure cooker. After taking out of the marinade, you put it in the pressure cooker along with other followers, and the leader says, I am also being cooked with you. This is bahudha. The various ways in which the avidya comes out, various aromas of avidya and various textures, various delights sponsored by avidya. This is what is bahudha. Very beautiful language here by the Upanishad. And then what do they say? Who are they first of all? These avidyayam vartamanaha. The vartamanaha should go with another ahaha. What is aha? What else ends in aha? Balaha. Yes. Who are these? They are mere children. No, balaha ever. Children are much more preferable to these mudhas, but they are balaha means what? They are immature, avivekinaha. Just like the child, when it is, hungry, what does it say? I want a toy. And when it is sleepy and tired, what does it say? I want to continue to play. I'm not sleepy. Because it doesn't know what it wants, it doesn't know who it is. And these people also, neither do they know what they want, neither do they know who they are. But not only that, like the terrible two child, they are convinced that what they want is exactly what is real. Yeah, that is what is real. They are not, they are, under a misapprehension, but they are neither able to see it, let alone correct it, nor able to correct it. Only when you can see something, you can correct. They are not able to see it. So, vartamanaha, another ahaha, balaha, it rhymes, so it is in apposition. Yeah, this is, what is that? Instant Sanskrit. So, it it rhymes, so it is together. And what do they say? And where is the verb? Abhimanyanti. Abhimanyanti. Abhimanyanti is they do abhimanam kurvantaha, abhimanam kurvanti. Abhimana means they self-inflate themselves. They self-inflate their own accomplishments. Yeah. And that's one way to become a Bada Mahatma. And then what do they do? How do they do that? Vayam kritarthaha. So the pretext of this continues. The masquerade becomes marinade, masquerade. See, same thing. And promenade, it's all matches. Marinade, promenade, masquerade. So the promenade becomes successful. You know why? Because there is one more pretense associated with this. Not only do they pretend to be learned, not only they pretend to have the qualities of leadership, they may be charismatic, but they pretend to be leaders, and they pretend to be able leaders, they pretend to know where they are going, but the final and the ultimate cherry of pretense on the top of this avidya cake, is what? They say, we have got what we have wanted. We have become successful. We have gained the goal in life. We are enlightened. That's what kritartha means. Kritartha means I have kritam artham yena kritarthaha. That everything, artha means the purpose for which I was born has been fulfilled. Meaning what? I have moksha. Vayam kritarthaha iti, not manyante. If you keep it to yourself, it's abhivadanti. Manyante is silently thinking. But this is a full-blown case of narcissism where they proclaim to one and all, I am enlightened. Because really speaking, we don't even use the word enlightened. If you know what is there, generally we don't use. Once in a while like this we are constrained because of the Shruti. So if one is enlightened, whatever that means, one knows the self, then you know, correct? If you know, then why does one have to proclaim to the whole world? So and so PhD enlightened, PhD in enlightenment. Why do you need to proclaim? Why does anybody need to proclaim? Like so many things one knows about oneself. The proclamation comes when that insecurity has yet to go, has not gone. Insecurity and proclamation go together. Even when the proclamation happens to be, I am the most secure person, that is the most insecure person. That is not security speaking. Because security is mauna vyakhya. Security doesn't speak. What speaks? Insecurity. That's why we say, if one knows the fullness, there is really nothing to talk about that and nothing to self. There is zero, there's not an occasion for self-aggrandizement and self-proclamations of various kinds. Then, if one is feeling empty, like a vacuum, then one fills oneself up by these proclamations and then advertises to others also, because it is a proclamation of insecurity. That's why we say empty vessels make noise. But two full pots, full pot does not make a noise. Empty vessels, they clang together and make a noise. So this is what is, first there was Panditam Manyamanaha, Panditam Manyaha. That Panditam, that is the nasal augment. Yeah. Otherwise it should have been Pandita Manyaha. No, Panditam Manyaha. That is how we know it is Khash. That nasal augment called Sum. Yes. Anyway, so that is how that nasal augment. Dhiram manyaha, panditam manyaha. So here, earlier they were just manyaha, considering. Considering is silently thinking, I am the best east or west. And now what? They have put it on their website, you know. And some people do that. They celebrate their, you know, I mean, I have heard of people celebrating the birth anniversary of the Guru. Okay, that's fine. It becomes an occasion for everybody to say that this is the day that our sacred teacher was born. The body of our sacred teacher was born, and so this is a wonderful day for us. And I have heard people celebrating the Mahasamadhi day. The day the great one passes away. That is called Mahasamadhi, that is Punya Tithi. Punya Tithi means a holy day. But some people, you know, they advertise, this is the day I got enlightened. So you have to celebrate this. They celebrate Enlightenment Day. Really. Yeah. Enlightenment Day. And of course, they will say that it happened spontaneously. When I was a child, at age 3.5, I was throwing and playing the ball. Ball went under a bush, under a tree. I just went to retrieve the ball. And then all of a sudden this oneness descended upon me. And it was this day. They will choose some day. How do you remember you were 3? And they will celebrate that and make the followers celebrate that enlightenment on a rock day. Yeah, sitting on a rock, I got this enlightenment. Sitting under a tree, I got this enlightenment. You know? And this enlightenment day. Enlightenment is not an event that happens to the self. It cannot be. If it is an event that happens to the self, then the self is no longer limitless. All events unfold because of the self. They don't happen to the self. Enlightenment is not something that happens in one second. Just now, who am I? Who am I? Oh! Ridiculous. It's a, you know, the knowing is a clarity that grows on you. More and more and more, because the knowing is not new knowledge of oneness being poured into you, where the whole Jagat has been put in a big extra large blender and, you know, eki kritya, having made it one, having pulsed it all together and has been fed through this, you know, through the skull. That is not the knowledge of oneness. The knowledge of oneness happens when all the pratibandhakas, the obstacles in the form of that which blocks that oneness, which is a self-evident, already gained fact. When the blocks are removed, the oneness is assimilated, you know. That is what we call self-knowledge, Atma-jnanam. It is not an event. If it is an event, then the event becomes bigger than the self, which we are saying is limitless. I don't need a bolt of thunder to make me see that, oh, suddenly I am the whole, I was hit by lightning. Vajra, Indra came and gave one bolt of Vajra. Here you take that, this is punya, this is a blessing. And then I was never the same. That is an experience. And the experience of oneness happens even when you are having ice cream. Why you have to have some special experience of sitting under some, you know, tree or having some hallucinations of oneness? Oneness is not a hallucination. But it happens when you are, you know, deeply and harmoniously working with some people in order to do something together. It happens when you are reading a book. and you're really interested in something. It happens when you're researching something and you're excited about what you find. This is all Ishvara. And each time there is an absorption, you are touching Ishvara. That absorption is your nature. And there can be no absorption without the self, even though we credit the absorption with something outside. It's actually self-absorption, because the other is also one with you. So therefore, when you get drowned, as it were, in the other, and you feel this oneness, that other is, you have discovered that other as you. So why do you need any special experience? Experience is mudha, it's dumb. Why? Why do you say that? These are all very sacred experiences. Sacred or secular experience is not able to speak. You have to transition to knowledge. That's why people come and say, I want to talk about a special experience. I was sitting and suddenly the time stopped still, and suddenly everything became just quiet. Of course there was traffic and everything, but everything was quiet and everything melded into one. First I thought I couldn't see, and then I put on glasses. Then I knew everything looked so wonderful, and I just felt loving, compassionate, warm, glowing, etc. for no reason in particular. And then what happened? Suddenly, what happened? It stopped. Back to square one. Duality reappeared, and then my raga duality did not reappear. Raga dveshas were playing peek-a-boo. Yeah. First they were inside, and then they said boo. They scared you out of your experience of oneness. That's all. So whenever the raga dveshas don't say boo, you have this experience of oneness. You don't need some special enlightenment day for that. But what kind of a moksha is it when you say I had moksha for half an hour? What kind of a moksha is that?
Finite.
Huh?
That would be finite.
Yeah, that would be finite, and it is finite. Yeah, and it's not fine with the one who is into this study, into this understanding the root of this. We are not shy of experiences. Atma is behind every experience, is Atma alone. The problem, the mistake one makes is to identify with the experience and forget that the one who experiences. The experience is inconstant. The truth of the experiencer is invariable. So as long as I am with the invariable, no experience can shake me, make me, take me away from myself. That is knowledge. That is kutastha, like an anvil. I lend myself to unfold various experiences. All the experiences, udeti, they rise in me, as me. And they, but that as is an as though as. They rise in me, and they also astam eti, they set in me. The sun of experiences keep moving. I am that canvas which is unmoving. That is what I have to see. And if I don't see that, then every experience, take me, I want to be taken, one is so easily taken. This is how the people fool. And this is how the people, vayam kritarthaha, I am enlightened. Oh, Master, you are enlightened? Yes, I am enlightened. Can you enlighten me? We'll see. What do I have to do? What is enlightenment? Can you please describe it? And somebody described it like this. There is a juice that gets activated. Somewhere here, this high above the head, some celestial juice of enlightenment. And then it comes, drip, 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 drip. And then at the back of the throat, drip, 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 drip. And then you taste it at the back of the throat. It's the sweetest taste ever. And once you have tasted it, nothing else appeals to you, because that drip, drip, drip is what you get. It's secret. How do you get there? What do you have to do? You have to just wait, you are a bacha, you are a baby. What do you know? You have to be guided by me. And they look around for good effect. And all the enamored shishyas, hanging on every word. When will I get this drip, oh Guru? No drip, just a big drip. That's all. That's all it is. This is what it is. People say that there is some sweetness coming, and once that sweetness comes, it turns the speech into sweet, it turns the heart sweet, all the ragas disappear, all the dveshas. How are they going to disappear? How? If anything is other than you and is operating upon you, then that means what? That you, the self, that I, becomes finite. And drip becomes greater than the I. Then you can no longer say I am enlightened, because I become a drip addict. That's all I become. The drip becomes another trip. So that is one view. Another thing is you breathe your way into enlightenment. Breathe in moksha. Taste it. Breathe out samsara. Don't you feel lighter? And everybody says, yes, Guru, yes, I feel lighter. Breathe in, breathe out. But how come even though I am breathing and breathing out, I am not getting enlightened? This is the honest Shishya. But you are. Well, takes a lot of effort. You have done so much papa that it's going to take many, many lifetimes. It's good you found me. Vayam kritartha. See, this is how. It's good you found me. These many varieties of mudhatvam. This is what I am explaining. It's good you found me, because without me this cannot be achieved. Because see, even Shastra says without Guru nothing happens. I am the Guru that you want, because other Gurus are false Gurus. I am the latest and the last. I am the only thing you need. And not only so, other Gurus are all in one stroke completely put out of the competition. So why, how come you are enlightened? How come I can't be enlightened? Well, I have been waiting to tell you the truth of myself. Not many people know this, because, not many people will understand this. Come closer, I'll tell you. You know what? I'm not a human being. Ooh, you came from now. You're an alien? You came from area 51? No. Don't go there. You're you in your mundane mind. I'm telling you something important. Alright, what are you? You're not a human being. No. I am an avatara. Swayam manyamanaha. Avataram manyaha. I am avatar. Who said? Yours truly. I said. Oh, you're only telling me this, only you. That person will be the 10,000th person. Each one will be told, don't tell this to anybody. Only you know that I am an avatar. And hush, 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 the word spreads. Oh, it's not Guru, it is avatara. So if Krishna came, how happy I would be and how I would treat Lord Krishna. This is what avatara means. What? None of the physical laws apply. None of the cosmic laws apply. The one who wields the cosmic laws, like even the Sudarshan Chakra wielded by Lord Mahavishnu, and then nothing applies. And then the person puts themselves in a bind. Because avatara has to go to the bathroom, correct? So what do? They say, they put the word out. Avatara doesn't go to the bathroom. And what do they have to do? They have to remove the bed, remove the chair, remove the carpet, open the trap door, go down the stairs, and in the basement the bathroom will be there. Nobody will see it. Avatara does not eat. Yeah, just like Devadatta, who does not eat during the day. Avatara you can't talk to like this. So it keeps the people in a perpetual state of balahood. What is Balahood? Yeah. Because everybody becomes, Avatara means self-appointed, enlightened person, self-appointed mother and father of the universe. So everybody becomes a child. All the followers are infantilized, forever. This is I find this so problematic. Very difficult. And what a refreshing change when we encounter a true lineage where people are treated as people, not as, cattle, like followers, or as, children. You will never hear anyone in our lineage say, you are my child. It's ridiculous. This is all uninterrogated maternal and paternal instincts on part of these leaders. That's what it is. Well, if you still have a maternal instinct or paternal instinct, have children, adopt them, teach them what you know. That is safe. That's a safe outlet because the child wants that bonding. But you cannot make children out of followers. First of all, to say followers itself is wrong. They're not followers of you. They're following the teaching. In that way, you are also a follower. You are following the same teaching of the same lineage. So, Vayam Kritartha, a very dangerous statement. Abhi, what was that? Abhi something. Abhimanyanti. Abhimanyanti means Abhitaha, they proclaim. Yes. This is self-proclaimed enlightenment. So, therefore what? There is no internal life. That's the thing. Everything is just a hollow, shallow semblance. This is what we call cult, I suppose. Isn't that correct? Yes. Cultish. Where all the poor people, the people who belong to cults are just mumukshus. There is one in Colorado where the leader is in jail. Some kind of polygamous cult. Leader is in jail but says, I am enlightened. Says that. Says, I have a special dispensation from Jesus and he controls the whole town. From jail he sends edicts what to do and they all listen. He himself convicted, but still people have not lost the faith. This is what is Vayam Kritarthaha. Abhimanyanti means, they do Swa Archana. They worship themselves. Swayam, Pujayanti. And then what happens? So then what happens? Vayam Kritarthaha iti Abhimanyanti. And who are they? Really, there is nothing in them. They are as good as 2-year-olds who don't know what they are doing and who don't know what they want. And then what? Yat karminaha. Yat here means yasmat. Because of which karminaha, these addicts of karma, karmin, karma plus ini, nini. So karminaha na pravedayanti, na jananti. They don't know. Why don't they know? They don't know because of ragat, because of the ragatveshas. Their big bundle of ragadveshas leads them to bluff themselves and bluff their so-called devotees and followers en masse. See, they lie to the people, but they are also, to a certain extent, caught in those lies. There is a sense of self-delusion, I know. And if you say something long enough, you start to believe it. And we all know this. I'm good for nothing, I'm good for nothing, I'm good for nothing. You say it 10 times and then it starts to sound true. I'm enlightened, I'm enlightened. Whether it's true or not, it starts to sound true. There is a satya bhasa there because, even though it's not true, it appears true. And therefore, in this what happens? Ragat na pravedayanti. They don't see the error of their ways because they are nothing but a walking entangled bundle of ragas and dveshas. Like a ball of 2-3 skeins of wool. The wool is nicely wound up, red, yellow, green, various colors. Then you just leave a kitten at it, and then after that, what happens to the wool? Yeah, this is the raga dveshas, walking bundle of entangled raga dveshas. Ragat na pravedayante. They don't know, because the raga dveshas are blocking big time. Big time blocked by ragas. Huge dvesha block. Big block of ragas, big block of dveshas, which is creating pratibandhas for them to come out of their self-delusion. And then what happens? And tena, so ragat, tena, because of raga na pravedayanti, and they remain karmathas, karminaha, and then tena, because of that, aturaha, afflicted by this. What is this? Ragat. Because of the raga includes dvesha. Whenever you see raga by itself, add dvesha. So because of raga dveshas, tabhyam raga dveshabhyam, what happens? Aturaha, piditaha, artaha, dukkhena artaha. Artaha means desperate. Desperate and tormented. Tormented by raga dveshas, they become desperate. And inside all these dictatorial types, especially those who brandish themselves as spiritual leaders, who brand themselves. And what happens? In spite of all these tall claims to enlightenment, inside is a hollow, desperate, sad, conflicted and highly insecure, defensive person. That is what is the bala here. And this is unmasking what was mentioned earlier, to show all the nuanced layers of such a person, who is avidyayam antare vartamanaha, such a person. Unmasking the layers and the nuances to show how deep rooted this avidya has become, and not anyatha vidya, the wrong assimilation of what is the gain, what is the loss, all these things. How infiltrated they are by these ragas and dveshas, and inside is a hollow, desperate person who has nothing to show. It's not that they are enlightened, it's not even that they are happy. They are frequently extremely unhappy, angry people. That's why there is this desire for control, world domination, really. Perhaps which is in the last life they were Julius Caesar or something. The same, that world domination desire or Hitlerian desire is morphed into some kind of spiritual nonsense. And so here, ragat aturaha, afflicted beyond redemption, kshina lokaha, kshina lokaha means, here lokaha means karma phala. So kshina lokaha means kshina punyaha means whose punyas kshina karma, kshinam loka, kshinaha lokaha yesham te. So the ones whose karma phalas are on the wane. They are no longer waxing, because the papa side of the balance has increased. Papa was like, perhaps Papa Punya was like this in the beginning, but because of all the lies they have used and the overindulgence in the ragadveshal, the papas have become heavy. And what? The punya goes lighter, 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 poof, gone. Kshina lokaha means those by whom all the karma phalas have been lost. Punya. Those of little punya. And if you want to look at the punya, if Chitragupta wants to do a little, mid-term audit of their punya, he will need a microscope, because it is so tiny and spread out that even a magnifying glass is not visible, certainly not visible to what is called the naked eye, and not even with the magnifying glass he will need a microscope. Ah, there is one little punya bacteria. One. Refuses to multiply. So swimming around in this sea of papa. This is what it is. So kshina punyaha means, kshinaha lokaha yesham te. So kshina lokaha means the ones whose punyas are on the wane. This is, and what happens to them? Chavante. They go down the chute. From chew to fall. That's how the word chute has come. So they go down the chute. What is this chute? This endless slipping and sliding from samsara to samsara. And this is Mundakopanishad is very polite. Kathopanishad says this blatantly. Yama says punah punaha vasham apadyate me. They keep coming under my net. Yeah, te yanti mrityoho vitatasya pasham. My net, which is spread out just for these people, they keep getting caught in my net. And then further, to make fun of himself, he refers to himself in the third person. I told you, he's got a morbid sense of humor, which really works as aversion therapy to anything but the knowledge. And what does he say? Te mrityoho mrityum apnoti. Who are they? Ye nana iva pashyati. They, nana means they don't see the grandfather everywhere. The one nana iva, even the Shruti cannot say nana pashyati because nana means this bahudha. In these, they don't see the manyness, they don't see the oneness, they only see many. Of course, there is no many. They as though see the many, Shruti says. Mrityoho mrityum apnoti. They go from death to death, not birth to birth. Birth is happy. There's so many things to explore. Some strange face coming close to yours and showing its teeth too. How scary, but intriguing. Something to even the newborn is engaged. Even it's looking around, and so therefore we say this, that the child. There is a vernacular, there is an adage that the child should be born with its eyes closed. Yeah. And then after it is born and it cries and it's been spanked by the doctor, then it should open. Then it should open and look around. But once in every while, the child is born, eyes open. And they say that this is not a good sign. Meaning, this child is so eager to be a bhokta, you have to rein, because eager to look out. That is what the thing is. So that's why we don't say birth to birth, because this child is so eager to experience the world that it doesn't even wait to open its eyes. It's already opened them before it was born. So we say that such a child you have to be this is all what the grandfathers, grandmothers, elders say, that such a child you have to be very careful and practice delayed gratification so that it doesn't grow up completely a bundle of raga. So these are the children, these balaha came into the thing with their eyes open, eager to experience everything, and in the process accumulated an overload of papa, and the punya started to wane. And what happens to such people? Chavante, go down the chute which leads back. Instant button pressed by Lord Yama leads you right back to where you started, which is called samsara 1, not square 1. Samsara 1. How many samsaras are there? Only one. Yeah. And then they start all over again. Last life, big guru. This life, world domination. So many morphings. Big guru means this kind of a guru who says, I am already enlightened. Bhashya. And Chavante also means from where they went to experience that minuscule punya. Where did they go? Some Swarga-like place. From there they have slipped. Gone down the spin cycle of samsara again. Back in the laundromat of samsara, where every jiva is made threadbare after just a few rounds. Yeah. And then they are put in the dryer. And that's when the person longs for Viveka Chudamani. And that's how you know that the person who is the student in the Viveka Chudamani, you know, he says, Durvara samsara davagni taptam. Suddenly I felt some hot air that was bothering me all the time, and I feel like I was swimming in this hot air. I came out of the, spat out of the dryer of samsara, heads straight to the Guru. Yeah. Doesn't even wait to fan. This is what it is. So all this is building up to the most important, in my opinion, you know, the mantra for which this Upanishad is famous. I mean, this Upanishad is famous for many mantras, but this is one of the most famous ones, because the other things that are there are there is anuvada, there is a certain what is that called, iteration, you know, in other Upanishads, but this one stands out for this. Just like Mandukya is famous for that sleeper, dreamer, waker, this one is famous for this. All these false ways are being repudiated, because that true way is going to be shown very beautifully. What is really needing to be done is going to be shown. So this is I think the final mantra, which is dealing with the bad news. And next weekend we will be seeing, you know, the whereas. Starting with that, we will see the whereas. So have heart. Anyway, so avidyayam bahudha bahuprakaram vartamanaha vayameva kritarthaha kritaprayojanaha iti evam abhimanyanti abhimanam kurvanti balaha ajnaninaha. Ajnaninaha means not avivekinaha, the ignorant ones. So ajnaninaha, what do these ajnaninaha do? That is the subject. So what do these balahas who are described as ajnaninaha, what do they do? Avidyayam bahudha vartamanaha. Bahudha means in many ways. You know, aneka prakarena vartamanaha, in many ways, who are deluding themselves and others. Their self-delusion is of course going on, but they are also busy deluding others in many ways. Breathe through the moksha, breathe through samsara. All you have to do is catch the nose, catch the toes, go here, go there, go on a pilgrimage, get your horoscope checked. And then checked means what? That's just the beginning. After that, what you have to do? You please get this, you know, not only get the horoscope checked, but I am appointing myself to save you from your terrible prospects. Get your prospects straightened. All the wrong prospects I will crop. You know, I will Photoshop your horoscope. Yes, I will edit it and Photoshop it so that everything falls in the right place. Everything will be Photoshopped for you. So what do they do? Bahuprakarena vartamanaha. So living under these kinds of delusions, what do they say? What is the main delusion that is holding up all the other delusions? The main self-delusion is vayameva kritarthaha. That evakara he adds, only I am enlightened. Such people say, only we are enlightened, you are not. And guess what? You will never be. But I am going to show you the way. This is what it is. And you know, so many people have told us this. There is one person who says that you have to come to me and pay money to get your negative karmas straightened out. So many people have told. And I was sitting next to one person like that one time on a plane. The person said, you have a lot of negative karma, you should go to my guru to get it, you know, straightened out. And I said, doesn't matter, I live with my negative karma. I am okay with it. Yeah. So this is how it is. And so this is, this is what they say, that vayam eva, that eva means only we are enlightened. You are not enlightened. That eva is for emphasis in the sense of kevala. We alone are enlightened, not you, and you will never be. And kritarthaha means what? Kritam, kritaha arthaha yena means by whom the reason for which one was put on this earth has been kritam, done. We have done everything that we came here to do. Meaning, we are the fount of self-satisfaction. We are the fountain of contentment. And, there is nothing more for me to do. I am enlightened. And they read a few books and they posture this enlightenment. And that itself becomes a huge burden. And so what do they say? Iti krita prayojanaha. Prayojanaha kritaha prayojanaha yena. So by whom the reason for coming to this earth has been completely gained, meaning we have moksha. So kritarthaha means people who have moksha. We alone have moksha. Iti, in this manner, abhimanyanti means abhimanam kurvanti. Abhimanam kurvanti means those who are overly proud. Yeah. Overly proud. Abhimana. Mana, pride. Abhimana, overly proud of the fact that they have achieved enlightenment through whatever ways that they are now touting. That is who we are, and they keep proclaiming it on their personal dindimas, on their personal drums. They are tooting their own horns and they are beating their own drums. And then what? Kurvanti balaha, they are just like children. They are ajnanis. They don't know who they are, and they also come to wrong conclusions. That is what is an ajnani. Ajnani doesn't mean one who doesn't know. One who comes to the wrong conclusion as a result of the not knowing is ajnani. Yadi asmadevam karminaha. No, yat. Yeah, it's a mistake. Wait, let me consult one more thing. Yeah, it's a printing mistake. Yeah, it's not yadi. What do you have? Yat. Yat yasmadevam karminaha na pravedayanti tatvam na jananti ragat karma phala raga abhibhava nimittam tena karanena aturaha dukkhartaha santaha kshinalokaha kshinkarmapalaha swargalokat Shyavante. Yeah, yad yasmat. Yat means yasmat. I already told you. Because of what? Evam, in this manner, karminaha, these people given to karma, he doesn't describe, he doesn't give an explanation for that because it's very clear. The people who are only given to karma, na pravedayanti, na prakarshena vedayanti. What do they not know? Vedayanti. What do they not know? Tattvam, truth. The truth about themselves, truth about the Atma, truth about, Bhagavan as themselves, they don't know. Why? Ragat. They are by raga. Raga here means ragadvesha, but raga here also means attachment to karma phala. Ragat. Raga why? Because what is the raga for? Bhoga. And what is the intermediary thing between raga and bhoga? Karma phala. Punya. So they are punya hogs, and so in order to hog the punya, first you have to create the punya. So their whole life is trying to create the punya. And what do? They create a lot of papa in the process, disturbing the punya balance very badly. So ragat, what kind of raga he explains? Karma phala raga abhibhava nimittam. Tasmat, so abhibhava means bhu plus abhibhava means overpowered. Seventh case, Tatpurusha. Karma phala rage abhibhavat. Abhibhava, abhi plus bhu means abhibhava means what? Overpowered by raga for karma phala. Rage abhibhavaha, and then karma phalaya ragam. Ragaha karma phalaya. So the raga is for the sake of karma phala, and by this raga they are overpowered. Like the verse I quoted earlier from the Bhagavad Gita, Taya apahrita chetasam, whose hearts are abducted by bhoga and aishwarya. Same exact thing is being said here, Tena karanena, for this reason alone, aturaha. Aturaha means completely tormented. Dukkhartaha. Let's see how he translates this. Where did it go? Which verse are we on? 9? So, Vartamanaha, Bahudha, in many ways, Vayam Kritarthaha, Ragat, under the influence of attachment to the karma results, Tena Aturaha, Aturaha, same thing, afflicted, desperate. Atura means desperate. So, Aturaha become desperate. How? And he explains Dukkhartaha, afflicted by sorrow. Santaha, being the case. Kshina lokaha, the thing they want most is karma phala, and the thing they get least is karma phala in the form of punya. The karma phala is being wasted. This is where the Gita borrows. Kshine punye martya lokam vishanti. The same kshina, from kshi to wane. Kshi, kshayaha. So this waning, the wasting, the waning and the wasting of karma punya is how is it? Each trip to Swarga wastes a lot of punya. Why does it say waste? Because that same punya can be used to bring one to a place of learning. If one has that desire, one can direct the punya. Hey you, fall in line. Get the obstructions out of my way so that I can study. That is what one has to do. But here, if I am just using up the punya to go to heaven and back, it is going to wane. You don't even reach the outhouse of heaven before a lot of punya is gone. Oh, what did you do? I just admired the fittings. All nice shiny marble, and the bathtub big enough to hold the whole town, and huge, And that is how it was. Oh, the bathroom of heaven, lovely, very nice. So you just go and make a trip to the heavenly outhouse and come back, because that's all the punya you had. And then kshina punyaha bhavanti, not bhavanti, chyavante. Thus being the case, they have this frequent slippage, not of the disc, but the punya experience. Punya, they are experience hogs, and so they keep slipping from experience to experience, and in between, to collect the experience, they have to have a whole life, and then in between, tiriyak and all these other, tiriyak yonayaha, all these bird life and what is that, dog life, cat life, in again human life, and then when they get the human life, they waste it in karma and karma phala, and being karma phala hogs, they spend it on useless things, because the karma, through grace, you can direct it. You pray for that karma, you tap into that underground punya, and in the form of prayer and say, if I have even a little bit of punya, let it come in the way of not standing as a block to this knowledge. That is what the prayer should be. And that is what is called tapping into the grace, which is there. But it has to be tapped into, otherwise it will be wasted. The punya hitches on to the wagon of ragadvesha. That's what it does, and wastes itself. And here are these wasted people, themselves wasted, followers wasted, life wasted, everything wasted. And this is what, is the situation. This is why it is so difficult to find the right teacher. This is why it is so difficult to find the right way to go about this search. This is why it is so difficult to find the correct way to connect to the truth of what I am seeking. In these 3 verses it has been talked about. And this is the whole aversion. This concludes the aversion therapy to karma and karma phala, brought on by ignorance and brought on by confusing the first portion of the Veda to be the end rather than the means. The end. Om Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om
Shanti Shanti
Shanti Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha Harihi Om. Any questions? Ramagiri is on both mediums. Namaste Ramagiri. Oh. Oh. No questions.